I have some deals you can't refuse. Hey everyone, and welcome back to what is probably going to be one of the biggest under $5 eShop deals videos of the year. Because right now we have an insane number of great games on sale, and I really want to have a chance to highlight as many of them as I can. Now, because of the number of games we'll be going through, I'll be using a more rapid fire style than my usual videos. And I'd really love to hear from you what you think of this style. Let me know in the comments down below. At the same time, that will automatically enter you in the $10 eShop gift card giveaway that we do in each and every deals video. Just make sure you're subscribed to the channel, drop that comment down below, and then check out the next video to see if you won. And also, just as usual, I'll be linking down below the latest eShop deals videos because a lot of those deals are still running today and I just don't go over them 2 videos in a row. Now don't forget to hit that like button, and in the insane over-the-top words of Shia LaBeouf, let's do it! Now first up, we have Dodo, 50% off, $2.49 and running till September 8th. Did you ever wish you could go back to the days of the 80s arcade classics like Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, or Dig Dug? Well, your wish is basically granted in Dodo, that feels like a long-lost arcade hit rediscovered. The gameplay loop is simple: collect donuts while dodging the Dodo and his friends, trying to rack up the fastest time and the highest score. Just some simple, elegant arcade fun. Also a game I fully reviewed on the channel. Now next, we have Very Valet, 67% off, $4.99, this one running till September 11th. Now this is a couch co-op party style game where your main job is to park cars, then return them to their owners when called upon. Sounds easy enough? That is, till you mix in some wacky ragdoll physics and crazy environmental hazards like earthquakes, magical teleporters, and even aliens. This is a blast of a game to play with family and friends, and a steal at only $4.99. Next, let's dive into Rising Hell, that is 50% off, $4.99, running till September 11th. Now this game is a 2D action roguelike. Now in this game, you need to imagine that you're climbing a tower of torment, battling demonic forces, all the while rocking out to a killer metal soundtrack. This game is filled with adrenaline-pumping action, intense boss fights, and as I pointed to earlier, a soundtrack that'll make your heart race. On the budget end of the spectrum, it is currently one of my favorite 2D action roguelikes. I even enjoyed it so much, I picked up a physical edition. So at $5, this game is another steal. Now our next game for today is going to be Shantaes Revenge, the Director's Cut, that is back to 50% off, $4.99, this one running till September 14th. Now this game is a 2D Metroidvania dating back to the DSiWare era, and you're playing as the half-genie hero who can transform into various creatures to solve intricate puzzles and whip your hair back and forth to defeat her enemies. This game really offers a ton of versatile gameplay, some charming visuals, and a whimsical story that'll definitely hook you quickly. And although visually maybe not one of the most polished entries in the Shantaes series, it still manages to rank among my favorites. Now next up, we have Exit the Gungeon at 50% off, $4.99, this one running once again till September 11th. Now this game could be best described as a 2D action platformer with very strong bullet hell mechanics. You need to dodge, weave, and blast your way through relentless enemies, all the while riding a fast-moving elevator. Now a lot of people weren't expecting this type of gameplay as a follow-up to the classic Enter the Gungeon. However, I do find that if you give this game a chance, there is nonetheless a lot to love here, although it's a definitely different experience. You have unpredictable gameplay, a vast arsenal of weapons, and as I said earlier, bullet dodging mechanics that'll have you feeling like Neo from The Matrix. Another definite great pickup in my opinion. Now next on our list of great deals, we have Mark of the Ninja Remastered, that is 75% off, $4.99, once again running till September 11th. And once again, we have a 2D action platformer. However, this game has a very original style of gameplay where pretty much stealth meets artistry. You need to navigate through shadows, incapacitate guards, and choose your approach very carefully. It almost feels like a ninja version of Metal Gear, with deep tactical gameplay, multiple paths to victory, and an atmosphere so thick you need to cut it with a ninja star. Overall, this game is a definite masterpiece. Now while we're on the subject of masterpieces, I have another one lined up for you, and that is Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, that is 83% off, $4.99, once again running till September 11th. Now this game is an open world action RPG, where you need to climb onto the backs of giant monsters and ultimately try to bring them down, and one day even challenge the dragon itself. Now this game has a lot to offer, with jaw-dropping combat, a vast world to explore, and a pawn system that is so original you definitely need to experience it, where you even end up being able to share some heroes with your friends. Now, is this the biggest open world game on any console? Definitely not. But in my opinion, it can definitely go toe-to-toe with some of the big boys out there. And when you're getting all that for under $5, it is just amazing value. Now, if you thought I was done with the masterpieces, well, you thought wrong, because we have yet another one, The Messenger, 75% off, $4.99, once again running till September 11th. Now this game is once again a 2D action platformer, however with a slight Metroidvania twist to it. And this is an absolute love letter to retro gaming, with an absolutely beautiful pixel art style that'll even have you one day switching between 8 and 16-bit worlds, and each one with its own different challenges and obviously different aesthetics. This game is a perfect example of seamless gameplay transitions, an absolutely compelling narrative, and a soundtrack that's an absolute banger. And by the way, if you need any more convincing, this is the same developer that just delivered us the amazing Sea of Stars. And for under $5 this week, you can see where their amazing indie journey began. Our next game for today is going to be My Friend Pedro, 75% off, $4.99, and yet again running till September 11th. Now this is a 2D action game based in ragdoll physics. Now trying to actually describe this game is a little bit challenging, but it's almost like John Wick meets The Matrix, but with a talking banana. Does that sound weird enough for you? Well, it is just a pretty weird game, however one that delivers immensely, with insane acrobats, slow motion gunplay, and a story that is so quirky it'll definitely leave you grinning. If you want a little bit of craziness for this week, this one is a great pickup. Our next amazing game for today is going to be Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game, that is back to 67% off, $4.99, and yes, once again running till September 11th. Now this game is a 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up with an awesome retro pixel art style. Now you don't absolutely have to be a fan of the comic or the movie to enjoy this game, however it will definitely help, because you get to relive most of the events of the comic, all the while bashing some baddies and rocking out to an epic chiptune soundtrack. But this game really does offer some great nostalgic visuals, some absolutely fun co-op gameplay, especially if you manage to get into local co-op, and a gameplay loop that is extremely fun and addictive. Just make sure to take a few minutes to look into how you upgrade your characters within the game. The game doesn't really explain it to you all that well, and you definitely need it to progress. Now next, we have Moonlighter, the complete edition, that is back to 85% off, $4.34, running till September 12th. Now this game is a roguelike dungeon crawler meets a business sim, because in this game, you're playing a shopkeeper by day and a dungeon crawling hero by night. Now once again offering a very addictive gameplay loop, a pixel perfect art style, and a story that definitely tries to balance risk and reward. Do you take your treasures and sell them in your shop to make some money, or do you rather store them behind for future upgrades? You also get to visit the townspeople and try to build relationships, all the while also helping them to rebuild, which also gives you access to further improvements. This is just another fantastic game to be picking up, especially at under $5. Now it's time to take a quick break and announce today's winner of the $10 eShop gift card. And our winner for today is going to be Anime Space, who said, "I'd cop the Chrono Origins and Primal Light games since they both stand out to me. And if you did pick up those games, I really hope you're enjoying them. In my opinion, they were some of the strongest choices from last week's list." So now all you need to do to claim your $10 eShop gift card is reach out to me in my pinned comment down below. So now jumping back into the deals, our next one is going to be on Crypt of the Necrodancer, the Nintendo Switch edition, that is 80% off, $3.99. This one, however, running till September 21st. Now this game is a rhythm-based dungeon crawler, and you basically need to imagine a dungeon crawler where your moves are dictated by the beat of the music. Now just like you might imagine, this game has a killer soundtrack and definitely an innovative rhythm-based gameplay system. And thanks to its roguelike system, it also offers endless replayability, however a fair level of challenge. And you know you're onto something special when Nintendo was so impressed with your gameplay system that they even eventually let you make a Zelda version of the game. An absolute great pickup at only $4. Now next, we have one of my favorite gameplay collections with the Castlevania Anniversary Collection, 80% off, $3.99, this one running till September 11th. Now, although I think most of the games in this collection absolutely don't need any type of introduction, you are basically getting most of the classic Castlevania games from the Game Boy, NES, Super Nintendo, and even Genesis. And you basically get to relive the classics that pretty much defined a whole genre. So timeless gameplay, a collection of iconic titles, and a nostalgia trip that'll make you feel like it's 1987 once again, all for under $4. Who could ask for more? Now next on our list, we actually have a couple of games that we'll be talking about together, which is Metro Last Light and Metro 2033 Redux, that are both at $3.74, and once again running till September 11th. Now this is a game series that mixes in FPS gameplay with slight survival horror elements. On both these games, you get a gripping narrative delivered with atmospheric storytelling, tactical gameplay that definitely depends on resource management, and an immersive world that delivers a sense of dread that just never lets up. So make sure in this game you make every bullet count, and don't forget that darkness is your greatest enemy. Oh, and lastly, don't forget to breed. Now next for today, we have one of my favorite indie games on the Nintendo Switch, and that is Blossom Tales: The Sleeping King, that is now back to 75% off, only $3.74, and this one running till September 14th. Now this game is a 2D action adventure game, and yes, it's like The Legend of Zelda had a beautiful indie baby. And I would more specifically say that this game definitely feels inspired by the Super Nintendo and Game Boy versions of the Zelda franchise. It offers a great overworld filled with secrets, intricate puzzles, a heartwarming story, and once again, gameplay that just feels like it's a love letter to the classic Zelda series. The best thing of all is that once you're done with this first installment, there's now even a follow-up with Blossom Tales 2, and this indie series is truly turning into one of the best Zelda-inspired series we have. Now next on our list for today is going to be KIRO Blaster, that is 70% off, $2.99, running till September 11th. Now in this game, you are playing as a gun-toting frog, and you need to save your company from mysterious creatures. Now don't be thrown off by this game's simple looking graphics, it actually has some pretty fun and deep gameplay, backed up with some tight controls, challenging levels, and a retro aesthetic that, although at first doesn't seem impressive, eventually really does hit you as quite charming. This is definitely, in my opinion, one of the underrated games on the Nintendo Switch, and at $3 is an amazing pickup. Now next for today, we have Gato Roboto at 75% off, $1.99, running till September 11th. Now this game is a 2D Metroidvania, and in reality, pretty much just imagine that this is Metroid, but you're a cat in a mech suit. I mean, who doesn't love a game where the cat is the main protagonist? But that's not all. You've got tight controls once again, a beautiful monochrome art style that really fits in well with the gameplay, and a sense of humor that'll ultimately keep you purring. Oh, and by the way, this is pretty much Topaz's favorite game. Now next, we have the Takeover, that is back to 85% off, $2.99. This one, however, only running till September 7th. Now this game is once again a 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up, and if you look at the aesthetic and the overall gameplay, it is definitely heavily inspired by Streets of Rage. However, this game even goes a step further, with a few alternate levels based on some other 80s games classics like Afterburner. Now the combat in the game is fluid and fun, offering 3 very distinct characters, each with their own variety of moves, and probably one of the most important elements overall for a beat-em-up game, a soundtrack that definitely fits in with the action and keeps it pumping. Now is this the best beat-em-up on the Nintendo Switch? Once again, definitely not, but at $3, it's a great pickup if you're a fan of the genre. Now next for today, we have the Sword of Ditto Mormo's Curse, that is 75% off, $3.74, once again running till that date of September 11th. Now this game is once again a dungeon crawling action adventure game. However, it's one with a very original style of gameplay, where the map automatically regenerates randomly every time you play the game. Now this does create one of the game's biggest strengths, which is endless replayability. It also offers some amazing charming graphics, and every life you live basically shapes the world and the challenges that you'll be facing ahead. I would almost say that this game has a Groundhog Day mechanic, with ever-changing dungeons and a world that basically reacts to your choices. Not only that, but this game can actually be played in co-op. So if you enjoy Zelda-inspired gameplay, however you want a truly unique twist to it, Sword of Ditto is going to be a great pickup for you. Our next featured deal is going to be Ape Out, that is 75% off, $3.74, and yes, once again running till September 11th. Now fitting this game into one specific category of gaming is a little tough, but it is ultimately a top-down action game, where you are basically playing as a rampaging ape, smashing your way to freedom, all the while with a jazz percussion soundtrack that reacts to your every move. Now what this creates is some truly dynamic audio effects, a visceral gameplay style, and an art style that is an absolute visual feast. This is just one of those games that you really have to try to understand, and most people who end up trying it truly do enjoy the experience. And at only $3.74, it's once again a total steal. Now it's time for today's Sizzle Reel of deals, with almost 25 more great games to consider for this week. We're now at the end of today's huge under $5 eShop deals video. Don't forget to let me know what you thought in the comments down below. And keep your eyes peeled because this week we'll have a regular eShop deals video that will be just as big as this one. I also want to take a couple of seconds to really thank my channel supporters. You can check out all their names on the end screen of the video. And don't forget, on the way out, to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, and click on that notification bell so you know when all my future videos come out. And as usual, I hope I'll see you in my next video.